الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره نعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله خير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Tonight inshallah we will start a very important topic and really very connected to our daily life and something that every Muslim must, and when I say must that means it's mandatory and it's fard ayn on every Muslim to know some of these issues. And when we say fard ayn, that means every Muslim is obligated to know. And what that means is you need to know these things so you know what's halal and what's haram in your life. And since we are talking about transactions and mu'amalat, and we're still with the book of Ibn Qudamah Almaqdisi rahimahullah, we reached the point where we talk about qard or al-qurud. And this subchapter deserves to be a book by itself, because that is one thing that a lot of people will take advantage of, and actually that is the main reason for the calamities most probably and the disasters that we are living in today in the world. When we talk about economical crisis, it's because of this issue. And when people decide to deviate from the way and the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah should send on them the diseases and the miseries. And that's what happens. وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكَةً. And he who turns his back to my remembrance and my dhikr and my commands, then he shall have a miserable life. Miserable life. And when the world decides to deal with riba and with the issue of usury and riba, and they give it different names and beautiful names, an APR and interest, they make it interest. They call riba and usury. That is the reason for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger to declare war on someone who takes it. فَإِن لَمْ تَنْتَهُوا فَأْذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Allah warns those who deal with riba, if you do not stop, then be aware of a war from Allah and the Messenger. As some of the ulama said, on the day of judgment, he who eats the usury and eats the riba will be given a weapon, and he will be told to fight Allah and the Messenger. So who can do that? And who can tolerate that? On the other hand, we see that the whole world today, without any exceptions, even in the countries that the religion or number one religion is, or the official religion in their constitutions is Islam, and even with the countries that claim to follow the Sharia, you still find the banks of riba, and you find the transactions of riba, and it's even within the peoples and the individuals. There is no such thing as qard hasan anymore, and there is no such thing as I'll do you a favor, I'll help you out. It's all about dealing with riba and making money out of money and more money, and nothing will satisfy them except the dirt, as the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. So when we talk about al-qurud, if we want to translate into debts or lending and borrowing, loans, all these things fall into or under the topic that we're about to speak about. And it's very significant because a lot of transactions and a lot of things that we are dealing with today in our daily life involves these things. Okay, involve these things. You want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you want to even buy something small like a bedroom or whatever. A lot of things, and we have the opportunity. And if you look around, you see that everywhere they're offering financing, stuff like that. They're offering no payments until 2011 or 2012, whatever it is. But it's all debt, it's all loans. And you need to know exactly, are you dealing with haram or dealing with halal? Is it worth it, the bedroom that you're gonna sleep on and you're gonna feel comfortable at night? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preparing for you a bed from hell? Is it worth it? Is it worth it that car will take you from one place to another in haram, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preparing a vehicle for you in hellfire that you will be carrying behind and you will be dragging your intestines with? So all these things we have to understand, and we have to be aware, and we have to know exactly what's halal and what's haram, and we are obligated. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us the messenger and sent us the book of Allah and His book for us to know these things. So inshallah we will discuss these issues in detail, and we will go further than what the author rahimahullah Ibn Qudamah had mentioned, because as we said from the beginning that he tried to be brief in this book, in Umdat al-Fiqh. He tried to be brief and he would not go into details. And for he who's interested in more details, there are bigger books like Al-Muhallal Ibn Hazm and Mughni Ibn Qudamah himself too, where he goes even and Majmu' Imam Shafi'i. So all these things that you can go, if you want to go deeper, you can learn more. But inshallah we will try to add some of those information and bring them to you, because it's a very important issue and very important topic. So inshallah على بركة الله we start with القروض. قال المؤلف رحمه الله تعالى عن أبي رافع رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم استسلف من رجل بكرا فقدمت عليه إبل الصدقة، فأمر أبا رافع أن يقضي الرجل بكرا، فرجع إليه أبو رافع فقال لم أجد فيها إلا خيارا رباعية، فقال أعطوه فإن خير الناس أحسنهم قضاء، ومن اقترض شيئا فعليه رد مثله إن كان مثليا، ويجوز أن يرد خيرا منه للخبر، وأن يقترض تفاريق ويرد جملة إذا لم يكن شرطا، وإن أجله لم يتأجل، ولا يجوز شرط شيء لينتفع به المقرض إلا أن يشترط رهنا أو كفيلا، ولا يقبل هدية المقترض إلا أن يكون بينهما عادة بها قبل القرض. So this is the statement of Ibn Qudamah, and this really involves too many ahkam and too many issues. However, before we start talking about this topic, we need to go into some introduction about al-qurud and what we mean by al-qurud and what it's really stand for before we start talking about these details. First, the definition of al-qard. Lughatan, in the language, in the Arabic language, al-qard means al-hadd wal-qat'. Okay? It means al-hadd wal-qat'. It means to cut. Al-qard means to cut. Like al-miqrad, like al-qawarid, those animals that usually have teeth to cut, like rats and mouse. So, qard, that's in the language. And maybe, if it's related to the issue that we're talking about, maybe because al-qard or loan or lending usually cut the need of the person who's borrowing. It cuts his need, maybe. But in Sharia, and that is what's important to us, what is the meaning of al-qard in Sharia? يقول يعني بعض العلماء تمليك مال لمن ينتفع به ويرد بدله. تمليك مال لمن ينتفع به ويرد بدله. That is the definition. And what that says is to give to someone money that becomes his possession. Okay? To allow someone to possess money, so he can benefit from it and he will return it, or will return what's similar. Okay, we'll return something and we'll give something in return. We'll return it back, we'll give it back. Again, تمليك مال لمن ينتفع به ويرد بدله. So we have different parts of this definition. First, to make him possess it. Because some of the ulama have different definitions, and that's what they say, إعطاء مال. To give money to someone to benefit from it, and then he will return it. Now this can be other than qard. Can be عارية or rent. You give him money to benefit from it, and then he will return it. But the difference between the first definition, which is the more accurate, is he becomes or